Okay, good morning. We're going to do Sir Thomas Bodley, Antiquity Unveiled, page 152. Here is his spirit testimony, Sir Thomas Bodley, Bodley. Good evening, sir. I might as well give my name now, so as to be sure of it, for my control may get weak toward the end of this communication. I was known as Sir Thomas Bodley. I was the founder of the Bodleian Library attached to Oxford University at Oxford, England. In the 16th century, I collected manuscripts, and particularly those of a very ancient date, and I know that there was a collection deposited therein by me called the Controversy Against the Council of Nicene. I'm not sure how you say that. It's Nice. I think it's Nicaea. Nicaea. It embraced writings of the controversialists previous to and for a century after that council that are known to history. But how far the clergy have tampered with them since, I know not. I say this because in the 16th and 17th centuries, if a priest saw a book or manuscript that was dangerous to Christianity, he did one of three things: stole it, bought it, or mutilated it. At Cambridge, you will find what is termed the Cambridge manuscript, of which 60 leaves were missing, 10 of which have since been supplied. Supplied by whom, I would like to know. The marginal notes of ancient scribes were damning evidence of the authenticity of the originals from which they copied, and those lynx-eyed priests could not afford to let them come down to posterity. But if the manuscripts of this Anti-Nicene library, or copies of them, are now extant, I think you will find them in Robert Watt's Bibliotheca Britannica, published in 1824, for QTO VOLS, as is the finest catalogue in the English language, and a work of vast research. This was the principal object of my coming here tonight. As there are others here to speak, I close and thank you for this opportunity. And that was Sir Thomas Bodley. And here's just some follow-up quotes or follow-up comments from Manning and the compiler. We will state that the above communication was inspired, no doubt, by the following circumstances, to wit, some weeks after receiving the communication from Apollonius of Tyana, in which reference was made of the Anti-Nicene library, while looking up historical matters in reference to other communications, we were surprised to unexpectedly find a mention of a collection of manuscripts formerly known as the Anti-Nicene library, which comprised a number of works controverting the action of the Council of Nicene. Not thinking at the time that anyone would ever think of questioning so well authenticated a fact, we made note of the matter and thought no more upon the subject until a writer, who thought he was well informed, publicly denied that such a collection of works ever existed. When we sought to find the references that was so distinctly impressed upon our memory, to our surprise we could not lay hands upon it. Failing to find it, we resorted, as we have done many times before, to the guide of the medium for assistance in our search for it. He promised to refer the matter to the band of spirits who had been using the medium, and this communication was no doubt the result of their action in the premises. In any sense in which the communication purporting to come from the spirit of Sir Thomas Bodley may be viewed, it would seem to be authentic. It was given immediately after the communication that purported to come from Eusebius Pamphilius, bishop of Caesarea, and was referred to by the latter as about to be given. It will be seen that the Spirit states that in the 16th century he collected manuscripts, and particularly those of a very ancient date, and that among those manuscripts there were a collection of them deposited by him in the Bodleian Library. That's Bodleian Library, called The Controversy Against the Council of Nicaea, and that collection embraced the writings of the controversialists previous to and for a century after that council was held. It is equally a significant feature that the communication that the Spirit should so clearly testify to the vandalism of the Christian clergy, Catholic and Protestant, in the 16th and 17th centuries, when the fluctuating ascendancy of one or the other Christian faction was from time to time secured. No one knew better than Sir Thomas Bodley, the learned bibliothec and critic, the extent of the destruction and mutilation of all then existing ancient works, whether in manuscripts or in print. We have no doubt that the marginal notes on many an ancient manuscript sealed its doom. As directed by the Spirit, we sought the work of Robert Watt, a work we had never before heard of, and found it to be just what the Spirit said it was, a work of 4 QTO volumes, VOLS, I guess, published in 1824, which is truly the finest catalog in the English language and a work of vast research. We have no doubt that the invaluable work contains the mention of all the works ever embraced under the general designation of the, in quotes, controversy against the Council of Nicaea. But as Watt catalogues each work under its special title, we had nothing to guide us in our research. We have no doubt that this communication is authentic and true. And that was Sir Thomas Bodley, Antiquity Unveiled, 152 to 154.